obviously a lot of great athletes on your team. I'm sure some of them are still chasing the media hype and things like that, as any athlete would, because when you're starting out or when you're not there yet, you think, well, that's what I want. That's what's cool. And when you're on the other side and you realize, like, hey, that's not what it's about, you get to focus on what actually matters.
Yeah, and that's the thing that you also end up learning is that the guys who have done it at a high level from a very early age really still don't care. Like, it's not what it's about. It's more about just having confidence in preparation, and having confidence in your process. And the other stuff, all the superficial accolades, are just kind of happenstance of the process, or I guess a development of the process. And so, at the same time, you can literally do the same things and have it fall to shambles. Like, yes, you can not win an NCAA championship after however many months of hard work and process focus and a mindset, but that doesn't mean that you didn't get anything out of it. I hate that mentality, and I'd like to see more people just kind of understand that, like, you're so much more than a win or a loss, or there's so much more than what other people around you, for better for worse, like, decide as superficial indicators of success. Like, it's not about that. Like, it's about personal development. I don't know. People might think I'm crazy for thinking that way. People may not get it. But that's how I've chosen to just kind of roll through life, is focusing on urges, and problem solving. And if you can, it might feel like you're failing in the moment, but if you do have signs of, breaking through, breaking through the obstacles and working through things, and it comes together in terms of, like, I don't know, feeling good during a swim, or feeling really bad, but, like, still being stoked to be there. Or, doing well on a test that you didn't think you were going to do well on. Or assisting in a case competition, or delivering in a class presentation, things like that. If you get joy out of that, it's like, why not do the things? Why not simply focus on the things that give you joy, and that give you energy? And so, yeah, I mean, in that, I think that's where I've found the most growth. And so, I don't try to spill that on other guys, because, again, everybody has different sources of motivation, different goals, different experiences. But I think that the certain points that I touched on regarding success, I think that can be applied to everyone. I think everybody can learn from that. And fortunately, I just have so many guys that are really good at what they do. And I've found it to be a very similar mentality in terms of not focusing on the tangibles, but focusing on the process. So that's what I've chosen to do. And, hopefully 20 years from now, I'll be able to look back and say I did a relatively good job of sticking to process, again, regardless of, like, superficial factors or superficial wins and losses. But in terms of who you are on your inside. So
I've been trying to touch on that a lot here on the podcast, specifically because it's one of the things that I learned this year, me personally, just in my own life, and it's what I'd like to call the happiness circle, right? Mm-hmm. Happiness being a means to its own end, meaning that the process is what brings you joy, which is why you continue doing it. And regardless of the result, you're going to get back up and you're going to keep on doing it over and over and over again in a cycle, because you're in love with that process, because you love that. And like you said, I feel like that's what brings personal growth, personal development. And it's not for a trophy. It's for, 20 years down the line, not to say I accomplished all of this, but rather to look back on those 20 years and say, wow, that's a life well lived. At least that's what I think.
Of course. And it's important to reflect as well. I think when you have that mentality, it can be easy to just kind of let things roll by. Which, I've been I've done a poor job of in the past, of just like sitting back and reflecting. It's like, oh geez, like again, like I started out as a 7-year-old that just wanted to get into a sport because he failed at it. That's all it was. That's all it was. So you gotta look back and be like, wow, like there is a lot of time in between now and then. And you've done things poorly, you've done things the right way, and you just gotta be happy with where things are. You know, my god brother, who is, you know, I'm an only child, but my god brother, a lot of people kind of know us together. You know, my friends know his, you know me or know him, and vice versa. And you know, he's with the Houston Texans now, and you know, he's more than halfway through his first NFL season, and it's just like I got to spend some time with him over Thanksgiving and just kind of sit back and reflect on like, dude, like we were literally 7 years old, man, like playing in the backyard, bro, and now you're playing on Sundays. And it's like, you just have to realize that these things can happen. And as long as you just, again, stay grounded and focus on yourself. But again, it's like these things, life can be crazy. And so I think as long as you just stay diligent and driven, but also take a step back sometimes and say, hey, look, you didn't think you would be here, but here you are, keep it moving. That's how I've chosen to live. And you know, there are certain friends that I have that I will consider lifelong friends that think the same way, so I'm gonna, you know, continue to cherish the time that I have with them, and again, just try to deliver and try to impact as best as I can.
If you like this clip, then you'll probably like the full episode as well. Make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to my channel for more.